Right now, a desperate search is underway for a 4-year-old boy from Hopkins who went missing nearly 24 hours ago. This is the area crews have been searching for Wais Ali Muhammad from Highway 7 to Excelsior Boulevard and then Highway 169 and Highway 100. Our Audrey Russo joins us live from the Hopkins Fire Department, where crews are planning to meet in just 2 hours. Good morning, Audrey.
Yeah, Alicia, obviously a lot of stress over the situation. It's been coming up on 24 hours since little Wais Ali Muhammad was last seen. And as you mentioned, the search is picking back up here in Hopkins this morning at 7 a.m. Law enforcement is meeting here at the Hopkins Fire Department, and they're asking any volunteers who want to come out and be a part of this organized search to meet them there at that time. Again, the Hopkins Fire Department at 7 a.m. Now let's talk a little bit about where Wais was last seen. He went missing around 7:30 yesterday morning near his apartment. That's by Blake Road and Lake Street in Hopkins. The search so far has centered around Minnehaha Creek, which is right across from that apartment building's parking lot. Now, Wais was last seen wearing only blue pajama pants. He's about 40 pounds, 3.5 feet tall, with short curly black hair. Police say the 4-year-old boy is nonverbal and has autism. Like many autistic children, Hopkins police say that Wais is drawn to water, and because the apartment is so close to Minnehaha Creek, that's why they are really zeroing in on that area.
So with children like this, oftentimes they will hide. Oftentimes they'll hunker down and not come out, even if they hear their name. So we do need people to be checking their properties and everywhere that they possibly can in this area.
And if you are checking your property or you're out and about in one of these search parties and you do see him, police are asking anyone who may put eyes on little Wais to not call out his name, just call 911. Keep a close eye on him, but they say he is easily startled by loud noises and they're afraid that he could run and try to hide somewhere else. So if you see him, call 911, keep a close eye on him, but do not call out to him specifically. Now, coming out in the next 30 minutes, we're going to talk more on all the different resources that police are using to track this little boy down. But for now, Alicia, just a difficult situation and the community really pulling together to try to help.
Hoping we can bring Wais home. All right. Thank you, Audrey. Appreciate you. Developing here in the last 24 hours, another man has died in the same Minneapolis shooting that killed police officer Jamal Mitchell just over a week ago. The Hennepin County Medical Examiner tells us 36-year-old Muhammad Aden died in the hospital Friday from his gunshot wounds. Aden was in the apartment on Blaisdell Avenue where the gunman reportedly shot and killed another man, Osman Jamal. That gunman went on to kill Officer Mitchell outside in an ambush before dying in a shootout with other officers. The public will be able to pay respects to Officer Mitchell tomorrow. There will be a public memorial at Maple Grove High School starting at 11. Officer Mitchell will receive full police honors in a service led in part by the Law Enforcement Memorial Association. Well, police in Madison, Wisconsin are investigating a shooting at a high school graduation party, sending 10 people to the hospital. Police got the call just over 24 hours ago to an apartment building rooftop. Officers believe several hundred people were there. They say the victims range in age from 14 to 23 years old. Only one person is still in the hospital this morning, and they are expected to be okay. The police chief says it's a miracle no one died. We're less than 5 months away from a presidential election rematch, and according to new Minnesota poll numbers released just minutes ago, it's going to be a close one. According to a new KARE 11, NPR News, and Star Tribune Minnesota poll, President Joe Biden is leading among registered likely voters in Minnesota with 44.5%. Former President Donald Trump is in second with 40.6%. And rounding out the top three is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who is running as an independent, and he's at 6.4%. Right now, the margin of error is a plus or minus 3.5 percentage points. And coming up here in about 30 minutes, we're going to dive more into the presidential race and approval ratings for some of the top candidates. And coming up tonight, our political reporter, John Croman, will talk with people who took part in the poll to better understand the mindset of Minnesota voters ahead of this fall's election. As the gun trial of Hunter Biden enters its second week, we're waiting to see if the president's son will take the stand in his own defense. Hunter Biden's defense will continue to try to chip away at the prosecutor's case. He pleaded not guilty to illegally purchasing a handgun and lying about his drug use on a government form back in 2018. On Friday, his daughter testified that he was on the road to recovery after the prosecution rested their case. Before testimony gets back underway in just a few hours, the judge is expected to finalize instructions for the jury. Well, after a 7-week trial and a week of deliberations, 5 of the 7 defendants in the first Feeding Our Future fraud trial are now waiting to be sentenced. A jury found these 5 defendants guilty of various counts of wire fraud, money laundering, conspiracy, and bribes. 2 men were found not guilty and acquitted on all counts that they faced. There are 70 total defendants in this case. 18 have already pled guilty. They will need to be sentenced along with the 5 people convicted Friday. 1 person involved has died. 44 others still face trials, which are expected to take place this year. And there's still an investigation into who tried to bribe a juror last Sunday in the trial. The lawyer for one of the defendants says 2 juror sheets went missing after the jury selection. Both defendants and lawyers had access to them to help choose the jury, but were supposed to turn them in before testimony began. Right now, both Canadian officials and the U.S. Coast Guard are investigating a cargo ship in Lake Superior that started taking on water about 48 hours ago. The Michippicotten is now safely anchored in Thunder Bay, Canada. Half of the crew, though, was evacuated for safety before the boat made it back to shore. Investigators are trying to figure out if the boat hit something or had a mechanical failure. After spending 35 years in business and 6 months saying goodbye, St. Paul Tavern on Grand officially closed last Sunday. But in less than 6 months, another business is set to replace it. Todd Russell, who's owned the building since 2022, plans to start construction on Russell's Bar and Grill by the end of June, with plans to open the doors by November.
Being a St. Paul boy, I recognize the importance of replacing it with food and beverage, a place that the local neighborhood can walk to and that others can come discover us on Grand Avenue.
Russell says he's still in the process of hiring a chef and developing the menu. While everyone wants to know if he's going to have walleye, he says you're going to have to wait and see. You're going to have to come to Russell's when it opens in November.